Okay, so how did it all? When did you start this? When did you write this song?
I guess I was sitting on a sailboat in 1989. I think I was anchored, sipping a Remy, and
Was Spark there?
no, actually Spark had passed 2 years ago in '87.
Okay.
And I was just reflecting on what he and I used to do in the sailboat.
Right. And I think I heard that song at the cottage you were renting one summer.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering about that. Yeah, that was, I think we were
Was that the early 90s or?
I think that was '97 at Unbax.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I can remember thinking that's got some potential, it's a good song, but nothing really happened, I guess, until we got together 2015, the fall, was it 2015, Laurie?
Yeah, I think it was 2015.
August 8th, actually Thursday.
You guys, right, you guys were just wanting to do a jam, and invited me to come along, I guess, at some point later on, and then we kind of played some songs and did some stuff like that, but at the end, Hal plays this song, The Wind and the Waves, and I said, wow, that's got potential.
I remember that. I remember you thinking there, it sounded like the Great Big Sea, or what was it? And we'd never heard of that being.
Right.
And we actually went out in the deck and looked at the Great Big Sea. And back then, I guess it kind of was the Great Big Sea song.
Well, it was, yeah. When was the first time you heard that, Laura, that song?
First time I heard that song is when I came over to Hal's for a barbecue.
Right.
Hal played it for me, and that's when I heard about it.
I mean, let's face it, for most of those jam sessions, you were doing the bulk of the work, the singing and the guitar playing, and then I guess when we decided to maybe work on this song, it was close to me going away for the winter, and we ended up kind of sharing notes all through winter, didn't we?
That's true, but there were also some very significant things that happened in the fall and the late part of the summer. And I remember the sound bites, Laurie getting the words, himself singing the song, and then where he first got the slide.
Right.
It was your idea to actually have the slide that we tried, but it was a dirty slide. And that actually happened early in the fall. So you were...
and another point, and Laura, you might bring this up, is when I heard the song, I thought it could have some more romantic lyrics.
That's right.
And personal lyrics, and you and your friend Jackie ended up writing those, or some of those lyrics, and Hal, right?
Well, I remember we came over here one day and devoted, maybe an hour of our time and just sat around this table right here where we are now and just started brainstorming some romantic lyrics, and managed to put 4 verses together of romantic lyrics.
Right.
The irony is, Paul, is that literally we were sitting at this table, Jackie was sitting there, and she had just written out the lyrics, and they had done an incredible job. You had given us an email, can you romanticize it up?
Right.
And then Laurie and Jackie worked the better part of a weekend, and we sat at this table, and they said to me, now you have a song. And really crucial to me at that point, I said, no, we have a song. And I realized at that moment how much of a collaboration this had been with Paul Gross and the arrangement that we just did, and Laurie and Jackie. And a really funny part of this was that we were trying to sing that at that point in time, and Jackie had to scream them into his voice, into his ear, because he couldn't see the words.
Right. Well, all I can say is, when I heard the song, I envisioned the sea part. In other words, you know, the wind and the waves and the applications to water. But I could also see the same kind of feeling of an attachment to someone as well, and an emotional attachment. And they could be parallel universes. And when I first heard those lyric changes, I thought you captured them perfectly. So that was great.
Well, Laurie and Jackie just nailed that as a team. It was an equal 100% collaboration between Laurie and Jackie and you
Right.
and I. And we take your suggestions from Florida, and I can remember some of the funny ones. Laurie and I be on the phone, and I said, Laurie, you're not going to believe how many great arrangement ideas are in this song. And he goes, holy cheese, you have the one on the slides, the one on us, and just quantum things
Right.
happen
Yeah.
by you walking on the beach in Florida last year.
Yeah, and then you could try them out, and we ended up sending, you know, audio text back and forth. It was an amazing collaboration. But I guess, you know, fast forwarding, when we did get back in the spring and we had a few rehearsals and fine-tuned all those points up, a decision was made to record this.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the help of Mark Kelso, a drummer, to give us a drum track. And then we went into a studio in Newmarket, and Last Tiger, Sam, what's his last name?
Sam Reed.
Sam Reed, right, sorry Sam. And we booked the studio, and basically Laurie, Hal, and my son Kyle came in and played mandolin. We recorded it and mixed it, and it was kind of what I call a labor of love, but it was a great experience for all. Laurie, how did you find, like, singing? You haven't been in the studio in a while. Was that
Actually,
seemed pretty easy for you, I think, didn't it?
yeah, everything just, it was kind of like one of those feelings of not riding a bicycle for a while and then just kind of hopping on and away we go.
Right.
But we did, you know, the pre-production work was really helpful, you know, in knowing what we were going to do when we got in there, so it wasn't so difficult
Right.
of a task, right?
Yeah, I guess when you rehearse it up as much as we did, going into the studio, we weren't wasting time trying to figure out what we wanted to do. We had a pretty clear idea.
That's right.
Right. Any other points, guys, for?
Well, for something that I think that started in 2015, August of 2015, and completing the mission or the task of recording the song, which was July 19th of 2016, approximately 1 year. Unbelievable. It was just a really good experience, and we really put our minds to the grind and got this thing done. It's a great recording.
Hey, guys.
Peace.
Peace.
Awesome.
Fabulous.
Good work, guys.
Okay.
Hey!
Well, that was good, but maybe instead of "I'm Your Puppet," why don't we try that song, the Wind song?
Okay, Laura, I mean, this is truly your first time here, and let's try and get it. Let's see if we can put some harmonies in it, and so
I'll just
anyway.
put some ideas in as we go along. How's that?
Okay, all right.
The wind and the waves, wind and the waves, wind your beauty with me. And when my love grows strong, and my love grows strong, all night long.
Don't forget, we want to do some harmonies then. There's
The wind and the waves, wind and the waves, wind and the waves are free. Loving you all night, loving you in the moonlight, staring into your soulful eyes. And when my love grows strong, and my love grows strong, all night long. So
not bad, Lord.
the wind and the waves, wind and the waves, wind and the waves are free. Went through the dark void, looking out and see, blessing your beauty with me. Wind and the waves, wind and the waves, wind and the waves are free. Hugging you in the moonlight, all night, staring into your soulful light. And when my love grows strong,
This is the hard part.
and my love grows strong, all night long. Na 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 na. Na 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 na, all night long. Na 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 na. Na 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 na, all night long. All night long. All night long. All night long.
Not bad for the first time. Woo!
Okay, so the good old times. I guess we all remember being in your parents' basement, and you know, we just started the band and playing, and I guess that's where the beginnings of us, of the three of us, got together. Your mom was a big driver for us, wasn't she, Hal?
Oh, huge. She had Johnny Arpin almost wanting to produce us, and she thought we should all dress up as Indian gear and headgusts and paint and add horns and strings, and we all thought she was crazy, but she really did
She was
like
a
us.
far ahead of her time for sure. And I know Lori played a lot on that old piano in the corner there.
Oh
If
yeah,
you remember
yeah,
that one?
yeah,
Lori?
I do. That was your parents' apartment-sized piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That was
Parlor, the parlor.
acoustic piano. It was great. That was a great piano. We just put a mic inside there, and away we went.
I know some of our famous gigs was Holy Spirit Church and the Bluebird Restaurant and
Come on,
And-
you got to tell that story.
and I don't know how, if you want to be the one or
Oh, Paul, you're the leader. You should tell the story.
No, I think you should help because
No.
that's the one you bring up to me every time we used to talk on the phone. It stuck out in your mind.
Well, yeah, the Bluebird Bakery. We were sitting there, and Laurie was in the middle of a solo playing the ham in B3. And what happened, Laurie? I guess your mom.
Well, knowing that who my mother was, she
Yeah.
was like, Mr. or Mrs. Curfew, and I always had to be in at a certain time. And of course, I wasn't in at a certain time that night. And what did she do, Hal?
She came in and grabbed you off stage by the ear and took you home. And we're all sitting there going, what the heck are we going to do now?
Yeah, so I guess I first really heard this song last fall, 2015, and it's kind of a strange experience. We were just jamming. Lori was mostly jamming, but we were having a good time reminiscing about the old days, and Hal struck up this song again, The Wind and the Waves, and I immediately felt like this, for an original song, has got some legs, and my comment to Hal as I was leaving is we should be maybe working on this and see if we can work it up, and that's kind of where it started for me. And then just the process of rehearsals and ideas that I would put into their minds to develop the song is kind of how my input came into this, and I'm pretty proud of what we've done. I mean, we start off with a good song, fairly basic. We changed some of the arrangements and added some new lyrics and made a production of it, and that's what happens when you've got a good start to a song. That's the most great songs, when they're finished, you go back to the symbiosis of the whole thing, and it is that very beginning where you look at the song in its basic form. If you got something strong, you can do something with it. The other thing that really stands out in my mind, I guess, is the recording that I'm proud of. We put a lot of effort into the pre-production, a lot of effort. Okay, so when you guys were working in the wintertime, how did you get together and practice, or like every week? What was the schedule for the recording?
Well, every time we received an email from yourself with the ideas, Hal and I would discuss the emails over the telephone, and you know, go over the emails just to determine what it is you wanted us to try, and then Hal and I would schedule a time, you know, the following week or the following couple of days after or whatever, and Jackie and I would make our way up here. We'd set up right in this kitchen here and try to get those ideas down and record them as quickly as possible so we can could get them back to you in a timely fashion. And had a lot of fun doing that. Had some laughs, drank some coffees, had some donuts, had some dinner here sometimes. We had a great time.
Great. So Hal, what was maybe you could tell us again of how you envisioned the song when you first recorded it. Was it just come out of your mind, your heart?
Yeah, my mind, my heart. I was thinking about Spark, and I guess I think there was a song I wrote up at Huntsville called where they tied me up on a canoe and cast me adrift, and I think I took some of those lyrics and the chords and thought, you know, these chords might not be bad chords for the reflection of Debbie's dad's passing, and you know, he and I, Spark always used to, and it was an engineer with Bell, and he always used to look at when the sales were up and go, Al, I can't believe the cost when the sales are up. And that's where The Wind and the Waves Are Free came from.
Perfect.
He loved the fact that it was free. He would say to us, so you mean we can sail from here to Chicago, the Atlantic? I said, Spark, we can sail all over the world for free.
Hey, Laura. So, what was the kind of experience going back in the studio again for you?
Oh, it was great because all of a sudden, you know, there was a lot of responsibilities put on myself for having to do bass tracks and having to do vocal tracks and different guitar tracks and slide tracks, and So you know, it was a great experience because I'd never really been put in that role before. I've always used to record with bands and had my place and part in what I had to do in a band setting situation. And so in this case, it was more like I was multitasking, so that was a great experience. And to hear the end result of it all with it all put together at the end was like, wow, it was like, you know, I thought it ended up sounding really great. I think we all did a great job.
I was going to ask you a question too about writing of the lyrics. Did you find it difficult, or like?
Well, I'm the type of musician or artist that I'm at my best when I'm feeding off other people, other musicians, other lyricists, or whatever. I mean, if I have to sit there and write a song myself, especially the lyrics, it just wouldn't happen. I would lose the interest. So the camaraderie of having Jackie and Hal and myself and sitting around the table and just writing down different ideas, and that's when I work at my best. And I even came up with some lines of lyrics in that song, which I don't consider myself a lyricist, so that was a great experience too.
Wow, perfect. You certainly played enough instruments. Did you find it hard to record guitars, bass, vocals at the same day?
Not at all, and I didn't, and I think I have to credit that one to you, Paul. I mean, I think it was all the pre-production work and the organization of how we were going to go in and record this thing that really made it easy for me when I got in there, because we had already went through the drill before we went into the studio, so it was just following the plan and executing the plan.
Perfect. So Hal, we spent a lot of time in this kitchen. What would you say about the process? How did it impact you? How does this whole thing impact you?
It changed my life. I can remember last summer, I said, this song feels like I've had a spiritual reawakening. I never did consider it more than a campfire song, and was stunned when you said, this is recordable. And I never considered myself somebody who could write something, but God gave me some gifts, and I realize now that I write songs by the help of my friend here. I started telling a story of it. We should write the story of the book and the song, and part of it is when I write a song. And my dad was a big part of that. And he used to play guitar. And then we started talking about his grandfather, who sailed the 7 seas. And I said, that should be part of our story. And Laurie said, no, that should be a song. So I've already started to write a song, which I think you've been sent, Laurie and Paul, how he sailed the 7 seas. And it's about my grandfather, but they're all true stories. So it changed my life for the better.